So about the intro again. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to another live stream. Hi there, how you all doing? I hope you are all doing well. Happy birthday to you too, Clanny. Happy birthday. All right. So today, I've gotten a bit carried away with the whole coding business because I just realized I have 3 different coding projects all going on at the same time. I knew this was bound to happen. Hi there, Misty, by the way, as well. Hi, I'm so sorry, pardon me for not saying hi. Hi there. And so today we'll just try to get as much work done as possible. And at the same time, if we get to the point where I'm just rendering 3 different animations at the same time, there's no point in me just animating anymore, because I would just slow down the process. I will try to set up my WSL environment a bit better so that I can compile things for Linux on my Windows machine. I know, exciting time, I know. You don't have to say it, you don't have to all say it, I understand, it's very exciting stuff. I have a coffee cup that's been sitting on my desk since yesterday, and it's full of coffee. Thank you, Past Make It. How kind of you to leave me this perfectly fine coffee cup. Anyhow. Hi, the above, hi. Assembly 6, assembly... So this is the most recent one, I do believe. So first we start by moving 1 into array X. Right. Then, damn it. You guys recommended to me before the channel told me. Yeah, YouTube is pretty quick recommendations. Are you sure it's safe to drink this coffee? Safe is a spectrum. And I feel comfortable with my choice of where I lie at the spectrum. Same way starting moving the freeze into a... Wait. Hold on. This is the wrong place. Right, here's where we are at. Oh, there is so much still left to do. Oh no. Demotivated. Free to register A. No, wait, that's still... There we go. So like this. Then what we do is we move 30 frames lower down. Like so. And then we move RBX into RAX, and in order to do such thing, unfortunately we're switching from a 2 to a 1, which is quite annoying because that's not really... There's just gonna be a change in characters, which means to actually visualize it we would need this, and we would need store named attribute. Have you been 10 on the entire time? Well, that's bad. Should be a 1, there we go. And you should be a 1 as well. Like this. Like this, like this, and then keyframe right here, and move higher up to the A register, 1.4 if I remember correctly. My memory does me well. There we go. Perfect. Render animation. Does that quite those? No, those... No, this is just text. These aren't actually any fancy nodes yet, this is just me doing text in a way so that I can manipulate it better. Actually, there aren't any interesting nodes in this entire thing in general. The C1 as well, this is just... Well, okay, I forgot I changed up the nodes. One of these was me doing... Oh, never mind, I guess it was in the previous file. One of them was me doing... Oh, but right here there will be some fun nodes. That's because we need to... set up a chain of binaries. Time is impeccable. I just looked into Checkup's channel. Hi, Theo. I couldn't run the website. Switch to live chat. Well, let me screenshot it. Fun fact about binary is that most of the time I'm gonna be completely guessing that this is 8-bit ASCII. But I don't have 8-bit ASCII memorized. However, since 011 at the very beginning is always constant, I suppose that would mean that's just what denotes a character, which would mean 1... Can I not write? Oh, I can write. Why aren't you letting me write then? There we go. I'm gonna do some deciphering. 10011. That's 5 digits, 2 to the 5th, which is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. How many letters are there in the English alphabet? 24, I remember. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so that seems to be correct. Could that be ASCII? If I remember correctly, I'm getting a sidetrack already, aren't I? Around 26, close enough. You know what? I've always said that X and J are overused. We don't need both of those. We don't need them. Anyhow, this one will take a fair bit more of a setup, and it will be a tad bit more annoying. Must be working with maps. Okay. That's because right here I would like to show what's actually happening to our variables. I would really like to show. But in order to... Yeah, I remember you, Nigel. Don't worry. I don't have memory goldfish. Let me think. The best way to do it, I imagine, would be to set up... Oh, it's long though. Oh, that's quite annoying because long is 8 bytes. And that's a lot of bytes. So basically, first let's start with the basics, which is let's create just a bunch of bytes. A bunch of them. This will be quite a fair bit annoying. Oh, I think the geometry node's doing plain. Not what I meant. A cube, please. Thank you. I had a bang of weed so far. I've been watching Doctor Who with a friend today. There's an episode of... Ow! That's wholesome. Did you know people in Nepal only have 1 day holiday per week? That's quite upsetting. Make it live chat. Thank you, Buff. Thank you. Now, value to string. No, what we need is we first need a way to decode binary. I could just copy it from the other file. Hold on. Which file could I copy it from? CPU? This one definitely used binary at some point. Multiplier, right. Memory. This. Perfect. No, we're using integers. Multiplier in general input. Yes, there we go. I knew it'd be here somewhere. Now the input is this one, right? And then the nodes we care about are... Good question. This deciphers the wire, this encodes the cube, binary. Hi.
Hello.
Binary digit. I do believe this is the node we're looking for. Which actually I might as well just take the whole thing. It's so funny how in order to copy geometry nodes from a Blender file to another Blender file, I need to copy the... I need to just add them to some kind of object and then copy the object. What do you mean internal clipboard is empty? There we go, this.
Someone's still hoping for the Q&A.
It's gonna come, eventually. Can you answer that question in the upcoming Q&A video? Oh wait, which one? What would your ideal life partner be like? Or would you rather prefer not having one in your life? I like it, light, not personal. Like it. It's good. Why is 0 factorial 1? It's... Well, I do believe that... I think there were a couple of justifications for it. But I do believe it was because if you go backwards, then n factorial... Sorry, n factorial minus 1, I mean, is equal to n factorial divided by n. And so... Am I thinking about this right? 5 factorial divided by 5 is equal to 4 factorial, which means that 0 is equal to 1 factorial divided by 1. That was one justification I've seen. When your 10 clipboard is empty, sad other PNG. Damn it, Theo, that's funny. Damn it, Theo. Now I need to copy and paste it into the best comments again. Okay, was I doing? Yeah, right. I was doing. Oh yeah, right. My internal clipboard is empty because I just pasted Theo's comment into best comments. Give me this. Internal clipboard is empty. I am copying this. There we go. Jeez, took you long enough. Now we can pop it into join geometry and just do the thing that we do. And there we go. Okay, so this will generate us a binary number, which we can set to be whatever we want. 8-digit binary number. Now what we want is we want an array. An array of a lot of them. Right. First of all, it needs to be smaller. And then we need a lot of them. Ray of sunshine. I like it when Theo joins in. I really do. By the way, today I got a bit of a fun realization. Yesterday I set up my 3D printer to print for me for 5 hours. And when the print finished, everything is working great. The only problem is that apparently it did not save the time lapse from the print. So, whoops.
Oh. Are you gonna do it again or just leave it at that?
Oh, this is like 1/3 of the print. I'm printing another one, and I hope that this next one will work. What do you mean? Am I gonna reprint the whole thing just to have the time lapse of it?
I mean, I could see you doing that. That's why I'm asking.
It's a maybe. Make it. Will you also share your IP address in the Q&A video? What's your social security number and your debit card with the 3 little funny numbers on the back? Please do a face reveal when you reach 100,000. 100,000? We could go a bit further than that. Why am I not thinking? Why am I just straight up not thinking? All I need to do is just combine XYZ right here, and then math, and then add, and then multiply, and then like this. There we go. Actually, I can do it in a smart way. Oh no? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not the smart way, that's the exact opposite of what I want to happen. -2? Well, that's worrying, because I don't know why it should be a negative. Oh well, it happens. Hi, Panzer. Why do I sleep through this stuff? You mean the live streams? I sleep through them myself. That's why I drink coffee. And alcohol for the videos. Then this, and then as we increase it, it always stays centered in the middle. I am incredible. There we go. Now, here's the thing. This is going to be really, really, really annoying to do, but I'm certain yesterday's coffee. Waste not, want not, Misty. Waste not, want not. In my defense, I made this coffee for myself yesterday, wanting to drink it yesterday. However, I fell asleep. Isn't that ironic? Isn't it ironic when I see golden statue? Anyone who gets that reference? Anyone? You people don't have taste. Now what we can do is we can repeat. The only problem is that, well, kind of the biggie problem is that wait, no, scratch that. I could actually fix this. If we right here do truncated modulo, and then like a 2 for example, and then we do divide by 2 and then floor, and then plug this into same multiply on y, I am incredible. Then integer, and this one will select how many rows we have. There we go, and now we can have like, I don't know, 100 different bytes, and then we can just pick how many different rows and columns we want. Anyway, how's the day going? If it's bad, then start making tangents. I just woke up, but I like this kind of system, like blink if you're being held hostage. I like it. Reducing yesterday's coffee to a syrup to add into today's coffee. Yeah, tell me that you bake bread without telling me that you bake bread. There we go, snap. My goodness, I'm also cooking today. Double pan, alright. I like my coffee with extra hot cocoa. I respect that. I respect that. I like my coffee like I like my coffee. In a cup. I like my women like I like my coffee. Loyal. Anyway, now this we can 128 will be a bit easier to divide. So let's do an 8. Am I an idiot? 8 doesn't work. F4? That's unfortunate. Uh-oh. Oh, because I did 218. Oh, there we go, fixed. Wondering why it didn't work. 8. This looks fine. Completely and absolutely fine. Now we can make it smaller because it's kind of hard to see. We can make it smaller and we can actually... I suppose we don't need to do everything in Geometry Nodes. We can just parent it to the camera and then have it be in the corner. So then the last thing we want is a cube. That will be underpinning all of it to provide a nice kind of background. Okay. Roughness down, metallic up, base color slightly down, and then hopefully this will work. I know if you sneeze or coughed, but bless you.
Thank you, but I only coughed.
There really should be some kind of saying for coughing as well.
I agree.
They need to add DLC to the English language. That would fix that. It feels in my head that this would make sense for it to be in the corner for some reason. I feel like that would look right. I don't know why though, it being off-center would look right in my head, but it just feels right. And in that case, we should probably disable the depth of field, because that's gonna be screwing us over. There we go. And now what's nice about this is that we can actually, in fact, modify these based on their index, which is, well, okay, it's gonna be a bit of a pain to work later on. This node tree will get really convoluted really quickly. I know because I've worked with it in the past. Now iteration into the seed, I think, and then seed into the number. I can't. Why? Alright, time to manually implement random numbers again. Cosine. I said cosine. And then add 1. Multiply by 128, I think. That's a guesstimate. There we go, we've got random numbers. Isn't that lovely? They should be random-ish, random enough. I like women like I like my coffee. Feeling like a warm hug, tingling my neurons with a scent of complexity and able to keep me awake for hours. I hate...
That's actually awesome.
I hate how... I actually can't screenshot Theo's comments all that often, because otherwise I would just be spamming on the best comments channel.
Nah, do it.
No, I'm not gonna, because it abolishes the sanctity. But I want it to be stated that Theo is my favorite person to comment. I'm going on record.
You could just
alternatively, by the way, I do keep track of these kinds of things. I want you all to know that I am judging all of you at the same time. So, for example, I do know who is the best livestream watcher. By the way, I do have that title selected. And what other titles do I have selected? I know who is the.
What do you mean? Best live stream watcher. What does that mean?
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you what it means. I can tell you who that is, but I'm not gonna tell you what it means. Theo is the best commenter. Happy is the best livestream watcher. No one kind of comes close. I guess I can't tell you what it means. No one else, at least no one that I'm aware of, has wasted as much of their time watching my live streams other than Happy. Happy had like a period of in between 400 charity checkup and like 600 or 700, where Happy was joining in basically every single day for almost a year, non-stop. Happy has been there for, I think, almost entire charity checkup day 500, minus 4 hours. That was the 20-hour long charity checkup. And honestly, I feel bad for Happy that they've endured so much of this. I don't like to be judged. Oh no, divine judgment is not something you get to pick, you silly mortal. That's not how it works. You mortals are cute. Now this, and then what we want is we want to move the camera lower and we want this to appear into frame. I do have to say, this visualization will be really good. The only thing I would like to do is somehow blur out anything that we're not currently focused on, which I could do. What happened to Happy? Happy died in a tragic accident. Died eating what they loved. Eating plutonium. Whenever I try to write something and move the cursor, it deletes it, and only in some parts. How am I supposed to work in these conditions? Why does Word do that? That sounds like a very odd feature. What are you writing, Misty? Do I get the best tank reward? I think you might. I think you might get the best tank reward, actually. Yeah. I am 70% certain. No, you know what? Make that 95% certain. You are the best tank. You are the best tank I've ever met.
No, that guy has the best tank.
No, is.
It wasn't Artistic Panzer the one who actually owned the tank?
Can only be. This is Artistic Panzer, not Artistic Fiat Panda. Who is the worst guy to join your live stream? Have you ever banned anyone? Yes. From live stream, yes, I have. The worst guy, though, I don't... There was one guy who joined in and started spamming from 7 different accounts. Honestly, it wouldn't even bother me all that much, if not for the fact that I was playing the finals at the time, and so I like had to win the game and at the same time ban them. Fortunately, I am amazing, so I've managed. It was like whack-a-mole. Every single time they pop with a new account, I had to ban them. Every 30 seconds. But they gave up at some point. Or ran out of accounts, I don't know. They had quite a fair bit. Worst guy. I don't really remember worst people. I don't give them much shelf space in my brain. To make a business plan, and I'm correcting text my friend wrote, so I don't need to make my own business plan. Try Google Docs. In that case, I personally use Google Docs. I like it a lot. And that's definitely not because Google is the parent company of YouTube. No, I just love Google with all my heart. Google is the best company. Oh my goodness. Oh, Google is amazing. I love Google. Oh, if I were to make a list of top 5 best companies, then I wouldn't, because I would only put Google on there. I love Google so much. We all love Google. Okay, now I know one way to do it, but it's quite idiotic. And I know another way to do it, but it seems too sophisticated. Because I could do it either with a shader or with compositor. Which one should I pick? Have you ever been to a point where you're close to giving up, or were you always this positive? This one for the Q&A. You can just... the live streams are a Q&A. You can just ask me questions on streams. I have a bad track record of making Q&A videos. I have been at that point in my life when I was close to giving up, yes. I think that being positive is the tougher option, and my ego complex always pushes me to play on the hardest difficulty no matter what I do. That's why I always pick the hardest difficulty in games. I shit you not, I think the same psychological phenomena that pushes me to pick the hardest difficulty in every single video game I play also is the reason for why I'm this positive in life, because I think being positive is more difficult. He seems neutral to me. Slaps knew I was laughing on radio. If you answer all questions here yourself, what will we have to ask you for the Q&A? We could just repeat the questions, you know. No one will know.
Except everyone who watches the stream.
Yeah, but that's the select few, you know. Those are the chosen ones.
I mean, we chose ourselves because we chose to watch it. So.
There are layers. Like, make it is an iceberg, right? Make it is a social construct, an iceberg, a mass hallucination, and also a god made flesh. So, basically, I'm pretty certain that there is. Let me try something. If we're in this kind of spirit. I've never used this before.
What do you mean, can I do a Q&A? You can just ask me questions if I don't happen to see it because I'm like logged in.
Oh.
Yeah. Then make it will notify me. But yeah, you can ask me questions here.
Well, look at that. YouTube has a dedicated Q&A thing for live streams. Oh, shucks, the animation rendered and I was doing nothing. Yeah, hold on, let me set... Nope, wrong one. Jesse is chugging right now. Oh, it's because you're printing the top plate. No, that makes sense. Hey, make it. Yaron the Jungle Dragon, fuck off. And we're ending the Q&A. That was fun. That's it. Timon, what's your favorite color? Asks.
Blue or green, depending on the day. It's either blue or green, depending on my mood.
Why are you such a good YouTuber? Okay, I'm ending the Q&A because Yaron and Jungle Dragon appeared. But...
No, I was writing a question. Come on.
Too late. I need to be quicker in this economy. Why am I such a good YouTuber? I genuinely think this is not me joking, by the way. Just like a second ago, I've mentioned that I feel like the same underpinning psychological phenomena that pushes me to play on hardest difficulty in video games makes me positive. I think it's the same principle. Like, for example, the reason why I dislike clickbait so much is because I think it's like... it's picking the book based on the parchment or whatever the saying was. I don't remember. I think I just like it because it's difficult. How often do you think of doing more chemistry videos? Quite often. I'm gonna make more chemistry videos, don't worry. The reason why the title of today's stream is what it is. Hold on, let me reread it because I already forgot. Oh yeah, I might have gotten a tad carried away with this whole coding business. Is because for the videos that I'm currently working on, 3 of them will require me to code something today. 3 separate videos. But yeah, I'll also be doing some chemistry, don't worry. The main issue I have with chemistry is that I don't have many great ideas for what to do with chemistry. So that's the main issue. That's because there is a pretty big gap in between easy projects and difficult projects. And I need something in between. And that's pretty difficult to get into. Is it something like with coded animation? Well, I don't wish. I'm glad that it's not. It's going to... I don't want to spoil too much, but I will be making more practical videos. And that's all I can say about this video, not on Patreon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, shill, shill. But basically, I'm actually going to be coding in C for that thing. You shall see. If you were to suddenly disappear, what should we take away from that? I died. Or was kidnapped. It's whichever one.
Bev, the answer to your question is no, I am not.
Speaking of, come on, because I posted this, there we go. 60.
I'm not right. Listen, Bev. I made this character before I even knew what a furry was, and I just like decided to keep it because I.
That's not a good defense. That is a pretty bad defense, in fact.
I made a character and I just happened to like it, so I set it in my profile picture. Like, I was just doodling random characters. Like.
Dear Honor, I was acting like a sociopath before I even known what sociopath meant. That's not a great explanation. The voice of... When will you be fairy? Have you been a fairy? Have you worn wigs? Will you wear wigs? I love you so much. That's the one accent I can actually nail, alright?
I love this question. What do you want to become when you grow up? I just love this question. I absolutely love this question. I need to screenshot it.
Actually, no, I didn't know it existed. Class, you went to quite an extreme. Whoa.
By the way, I wanna do material science or physical chemistry or like quantum chemistry or stuff, something like that in the future.
Hold on. Are you making a playable game or app? Something which can help us learn? Also, where are you from, dude? I like your content a lot. I'm not making a playable game or app or something you can make you learn. However, this might be the first thing I've ever made that will be useful. Which is something. It's really... So, Ash, here's the thing. I am right now working on a video that will be the best video I've ever made so far. And that's what I'm 3D printing in the background, actually. Can you hear the hum in the background? That's my 3D printer. 3D printing for the best video that I've ever made. However, the problem is I cannot tell you what it is because I want to keep it as a surprise. And it's difficult for me to explain exactly what I want to code without revealing too much about what I'm making. You'll see in like 2 weeks, maybe 3. I want another tank when I grow up. You know, go for it. Can you give the first word of the title of this best video? I don't have an idea for a title. I don't really do much of like the whole video, I don't even know what to call it, algorithm optimization. I don't usually know what the thumbnail or the title will be until after I finish the video, and then I just come up with something quickly on the fly. I make science-based content kind of like yours. What's the first step in that journey except learning science? That's kind of awkward because in my case I was just making videos. It's kind of hard to pinpoint the first step. The first step is to suck. The second step is to suck less, and then over time become better and better. And that's not even for making videos, that's in general for anything you want to do. The biggest issue is... The thing is, if you want to be good at something, there are 2 qualities you need to have, which are really easy to have on their own, but really difficult to have together. And if you manage to have them together, then you'll succeed. The first one is recognizing that you suck, and the second one is still working despite that fact. That's because if you need to at the same time realize just how on the very beginning awful the thing you're making is, because for everyone it's going to be awful if they're just starting something, and at the same time not let that discourage you. Second was to keep improving by failure realization. Yes. So for example, my first videos on YouTube were so terrible, they're not even on YouTube anymore. I would just like to point out that right now, this is my 5th year on YouTube. I do believe. It might be 4th, it might be 6th. Something more or less, plus and minus. So it's easy to see where I am right now and just see me as someone who makes videos, and those videos are pretty good. However, it's important to note that back then when I was starting, my video making process wasn't really any different. I was still just looking for things I want to make videos on, then I was making videos on them. The only difference was the skill level. And those videos were terrible. However, then I recognized they were terrible and I started improving. And that's why they're not public on YouTube anymore, because I hate them so much. Will anything change about your channel after you hit 1 million subs? Will you stop streaming or upload videos less often? The things that will change about my channel if I hit 1 million subs is that it will be higher quality. If I had 1 million subscribers, I would earn much more from my videos, which I would just put back into the videos. Why does do that sound a bit like daddy? It's because it's syllables. But that's not what the do that is. So basically it's process about the doing and keep doing better. Yes. Yeah. The important part, the problem, the tricky bit, the really tricky bit, is that people like staying in their comfort zone. And so if the more general the thing that you're working on, the more general skills you need to acquire. The problem being that then, simply because people like staying in their comfort zone, it's possible that you will start optimizing for what you like doing, when in reality, in order to improve, you need to focus on the things that you don't like doing, focus on the things that you're bad at. In my case, the most recent example that still is visible on my channel was sound effects. I absolutely sucked at sound effects. It was terrible. I never used them in my videos. Usually it was just music and me talking over it, and that's it. However, I recognized that sucked. It was terrible. And so, like 3 months ago, I started adding sound effects to my videos, precisely because I knew that was my weakest link. Do you think it's better to be a specialist or generalist in this economy? I think it's better to be a specialist in general, not just in this economy. I just think there is a reason why people like niche topics. It's just really, it feels good to just know a lot about a niche topic. I don't have enough context. What the goddamn hell is doodaddy? It's not doodaddy, it's the doodad. And doodad is basically a part of what I'm printing in the background. Do you have any regrets in your life? Not really. What do you do to make those 3D animations? I use Blender, the best software. You heard me. It's free, I would recommend. You can just, hold on, my taskbar is broken again. Windows! There, you can just download it for free. It's open source. It's great. I don't know if this explanation made it worse or better. It's doodad. It's the doodad. It's something, especially a small device or part whose name is unknown or forgotten. It's the doodad. Look at the definition. It's a small device or part. I love the fact that I was using doodad correctly. And only now found out that I was actually using the word doodad correctly. Hey, rule number 1. You know what? Actually, there's something I wanted to do for a long time, which is create like a Google document that will be keeping a track of statistics on stream. So, what's the date today? 5/24. No wait, 24. Hold on. Statistics since 24th of 2025, and then right here we're gonna have rule 1 and 1. There we go. I just wanted to keep track of statistics on these streams. Rule number 1, make it as always correct. Forgotten doodad, ancient device of eons ago. I'm curious if Cult Mechanicum actually is calling them doodads. It would be accurate in the high Gothic. Are you excited for the Polish election results? Politics, the great topic. Excited is a curious choice of words. Who do you think will win? Well, after I woke up today, you see, yesterday I passed out on the couch. So after I woke up today, I've seen some news articles that one of the candidates apparently absolutely smashed it in a debate. So I think that person, and they were winning in the polls previously. So wait, Poland has elections. I know, crazy. Forgotten is a forgotten thing. How does that work in No Longer Forgotten? Because you forget to forget. Yeah, that's why forgotten doodads are just machines. Make it, why did you pass out? It's part of the creative process, you know, part of the video making. It's a long story. Speaking of making videos that I cannot seem to make, right here, there are two ways. What I basically want to achieve is I want to achieve something in which I want to achieve a result in which everything will be blurry, except for these longs. And there are two ways I could do that, and I should probably pick the simpler one, because otherwise it might take a bit too long for no reason. Which is this. And then... Do you think the result will affect your life? Are you very separated from the rest of Polish society? I am very separated from the rest of Polish society. The shucks is a long. This one is still rendering, that's good. Oh my goodness, Botti is rendering a massive plate right now. Jesse, close enough. Spoilers. Alright, then blah, like this. If I'm not mistaken, if I increase transmission to 100 and then the EQR between the 1 and 1.7 or even better at 2, if we decrease the roughness, no, increase the roughness, there we go. This will control our blur. Is Jesse good? Yeah, Jesse is good. Jesse just needs Jesse's hard at work right now, really hard, like printing a lot, so I can't blame Jesse on this. And then what we'll have basically is we'll have, I could do it the proper way, or we could do it with mathematics. So, separated XYZ, or even better, vector math. Basically, here's the idea. We want to create a mathematical function that takes in, or a map, to be, for the sake of simplicity, that takes in x and y, and then maps it onto our IQR, pronunciation, who cares? The point is that then, if something is within this rectangle, we want it to be between 0 and 1 would be easier, so we'll just add 1 to it later on, which means we want it to be in between 0 and 1, whereas if something is on the inside of the rectangle, we want it to be a 0, if something is on the outside, we want it to be a 1, and what we do have for the rectangle is we'll have the first point, so P0, and then we'll have the second point, P1. Now, how do we do it? Well, we pick a random point, and we can do it separately on the x and y because it's a rectangle, that's convenient. So x, we check if it's greater than P0 and smaller than P1. And then we don't need any fail-safes because we ourselves are tasked with implementation. That's so convenient. The problem is that it will be a bit sharp. Blurring out the edges will be a bit tricky. So how could we do it with blur? That's a good question. Putting a C in check. It would be better for EU if Trzaskowski wins. That is true. That is true. That's who I am rooting for. I am a bit of a EU fanboy. How do we pick? And Trzaskowski absolutely smashed it in the debate, apparently. I don't know, I don't care, I don't really follow Polish politics. Well, I suppose I should care, but I am having way too much fun, so... May I know why it would be better if you won? It's because the two opponents are extremely Eurosceptic. And Euroscepticism is... How should I put this? A very self-destructive ideology. Euroscepticism is something that, like, atomizes countries. And, well, unity, in my personal opinion, unity is better. Oh, Blender, I didn't know you used it. What specs does your thingamajig have? My new computer, which I had to upgrade to recently because my old one was just breaking and falling apart. Not falling apart, I'm just kidding, I love my old machine. But it was turning off, worrying all the time. My new computer has RTX 5060 Ti, I think. And AMD Radeon... I don't remember the 4-digit number, but I do remember it's a 3XC something. I don't remember. A really good CPU, the point is, from AMD. Do you think Russia will ever solve its differences with EU and join it? Would you prefer it? That's a really far down the line kind of question. That's because, ideally, what I would like, in the end, is for every country on Earth to join the EU, and I mean it. That's because, basically, countries in the EU, when countries join EU, it produces an incredible incentive for those countries to not fight with other countries inside of the EU. The reason why is because it's just bad for business. That's the simple reason. Basically, EU produces so much economic benefits that just the threat of those benefits being removed is enough to keep countries in line. So, for example, obviously it's imperfect, but I would say it's better than not having it. And so, as such, if every country on Earth joined the EU in the end, then it would be really neat because, you know, we could use the economic benefits are really nice, and then the threat of having those economic benefits removed could be enough to, you know, reinforce the rule of law or human rights or, you know, all those nice things that we love. So in the end, yes. However, do you think Russia will ever solve its differences and with EU and join it? Is a really far down the line kind of question, because I feel like only Canada is closer to joining the EU than Russia, or maybe Brazil could even be closer to joining EU than Russia. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, right, we can select the rectangle really easily if we just separate the XYZ, and then math check if it's greater than the first point, which means combine XYZ into a vector. No, wait, two values. No, wait. What would be the easiest way? I have is 4 values. If it's greater than 0.1 and at the same time smaller than 0.8, and then we math or multiply those two together, and we get, let's do it with a mission for now, just to have it be a bit easier. We get this, where these two select our region. And then what we do is we multiply this with the same exact thing on the other side, except this time with the X and Y. Oops, I plugged them backwards. He was having a bad day, I know, cause tangents. Don't psychoanalyze me. I just really like following up on European news, not my fault. No, seriously, EU made simple and TLDR EU are phenomenal. I like them a lot. And I really wish that Canada would join the EU, it would be funny. With Russia, I'm saying it's too far down the line because I simply cannot myself imagine a path there, so I don't want to speculate. I don't know enough about the topic. What about Britain then? And if ordering the EU will not be just second the EU, and that worked out. Okay, with Britain, I don't know. There is a lot of arguments for, a lot of arguments against. I don't know enough about Britain to actually give you a solid answer. That's because on one hand the Labour Party seems to really like the EU, on the other hand they don't really want to join it, so I just simply do not know. However, I don't think it will turn out like the second UN, simply because UN doesn't carry a stick. That's a really big deal for the UN, and I think it's good, honestly, that it doesn't carry a stick, because that's quite a terrifying thought. In the case of EU, what I really like about it is that the stick isn't aggression, it's lack of support, which I think is great. Because when a country does something bad, something that the EU doesn't like, EU isn't telling that country, oh, we'll invade you, or oh, we'll start a war. No, it's just saying that you will no longer get the benefits that come with joining EU, which I think is great. I personally don't like war. I'm crazy that way. You know, I'm weird that way. I just don't like war. And as such, I don't really think we'll turn to a second UN. But that's my personal opinion at the end of the day. In this case, this is a bit too vague of a topic to actually have anything decisive on it. So not really a hill I'm willing to die on. I'm like a leader and I'm a tank. They still left it and still destroying them. The vote did not care. They were just gone away. My point being, people are not rational. Hold on, because this is... I plugged it in backwards. That's the problem, of course. There we go. I knew something was off. Your point being, people are not rational. People are not rational, but they're not irrational either. If you have two choices, and one of them is the rational choice, the other one is irrational choice, I think it's a better guess about what people will do to go with the rational over the irrational. What's more is, it should be noted that really often certain choices may seem irrational, when in reality they're not. We just don't understand the rationale. In those cases, I see what you mean. Yes, I see what you mean, and I think you are right. However, I don't like assuming that people are irrational. I don't like that idea. I think that's just an easy cop-out to pretend that other people are bad, and I don't like that train of thought.
But what if someone also believes that they are human too, so they fall into the same mistake as everyone else and incorporates that into their argument?
I still like it, because in my opinion, that goes kind of against personal change a bit. If it seems that's kind of like a bit of a picking an excuse, where if you think you're irrational, or if you think that hold on, because I'm doing maths. There we go. If you think you're irrational, then the simplest way to avoid that would be to stop being irrational. That's the simplest way to solve that problem. Not just wash your hands away from responsibility and just accept that you'll be irrational forever.
No, but I can't know for sure if I'm well informed on a topic, or like if I'm making a good choice. No one can know for sure. And also, like,
think about like science. In science, can you ever know something for certain?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You can never know. Big deal in science. However, when you go to a doctor's office and doctor recommends you some medicine, they don't tell you that they don't know for certain, so they will recommend you nothing. Instead, they make an educated guess. So yeah, you will never be able to know anything for certain. However, the point isn't to know anything for certain, it's to know things best. Which means that if there are topics which you think you aren't educated enough on, then yeah, go walk away from them. However, if there is something you want to have an opinion on, then just educate yourself on it. saying that people are irrational, well, first of all, I think people are always rational, it's just that they are sometimes misinformed. Misinformation is a very sticky issue because, my goodness, it's unsolvable. So, for example, I had this conversation with Tefta on stream. I remember it. It was one of the Minecraft streams when I was building the cursed forest. We had this specific conversation of just how sticky of a topic is misinformation. Because if you think about it, anti-vaxxers, for example, they're not really irrational. They are just... Because if I, for example, had the same information as the anti-vax community, I would probably make the same choice. If I thought that vaccines were really harmful and were just sold to make money, then yeah, I probably would be against vaccinations either. Like, I also think I would make the same choice. So I wouldn't really call it irrational. To me, it seems quite rational. The actual problem doesn't seem to be irrationality, it seems to be the information, which is that those people aren't irrational, they're misinformed. However, the reason why it's such a sticky topic is because there is no way to know which side is misinformed. From my perspective, they're the misinformed ones. From their perspective, I'm the misinformed one. Now, obviously, the simplest solution to it is science, which, well, I mean, yes, a science junkie proposing science as a solution. I know, everyone must be fucking shocked. But but in that case, the simplest solution here would be is you think that most people are picking irrational choices. In my opinion, it would be the recognition of the fact that misinformation is the actual problem, and all we need to do is just do more science to solve it. Which means that you do have a policy that you can pick, and that policy is just to be for science, because, by the way, should we do more science or not with public research funds? That's also a political question. War leads to innovation. Oh, no, I don't like... Oh, artistic panzer, no. I don't like that. I don't like that argument so much. War leads to innovation. Oh! War leads to innovation in a very, very, very short term. But it's actually terrible for innovation in the long term. The thing is, Panzer, what you have to realize is that war leads to innovation not because it gives resources, only because it gives purpose. However, purpose is a social problem that could be solved without war. War does take up resources, though. A society without war has the potential to outpace a society with war. So I wouldn't really... And society with war cannot outpace a perfect society without war. So I wouldn't say that war leads to innovations. That's... Like, it does, but in such a short term that... I really don't like that argument. I really don't. I hate it because war is not a good thing, and trying to justify and saying that it gives it a purpose, which is a pretty bad purpose. There are need for this community, lack of knowledge or difference in terminal goals. I wouldn't even say that. I would say that there is only that the difference in terminal goals. Well, I don't want to classify into how many types of disagreements there are because I honestly haven't got a fucking clue. But I wouldn't say that the difference in terminal goals is ever a thing. I would say that the terminal goals are really close aligned for most humans. Scarcity, that could be one, yeah, sure. But scarcity doesn't come from different terminal goals, it comes from the same terminal goal and just two groups of people fighting over it. Was who asked it, not me. Wait, was it? What do you think? Wait, did I misunderstand you? Did you say it? Oh, did you say it ironically? the dot dot dot. Can we get back to the production, please? It's kind of difficult to read irony in text form. Submitted my dissertation a couple days ago. Yes.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, and congratulations. Sure, yeah. That's why I was excited, right? Yeah, totally. Not for a different reason. I'm joshing. You didn't ask me, by the way, Flame, for any graphics for your dissertation or any visualizations, which I'm fine with. I'm not upset. Just whatever. I don't even care. I don't even care or anything. Subtract! Holy shit! I cracked it. I think I cracked it. That's because the presentation was quite a while back and I realized I didn't need any super fancy stuff. Yeah, no, it's fine. You don't need to explain yourself. It's okay. It's whatever. As I told you, I don't care. X minus P. Oh, that gives you the difference. But now, how do we get between the area? Area, we could do it by having, if we have the first point and then the second point, all we need to do is have this kind of function where this is 0, and then we need to remove anything before. I am cooking right now. I am just straight up cooking. That's because what we need to do is we need to take this, which is just x absolute value, we need to move it until it's in between those 2 points, and then it's simple because we have a binary way, and then all we need to do is we need to take the minus and add the minus to it, only if it's a minus, and then, oh my goodness, I am doing stuff. Hold on, first let's fix the first problem. X then minus A. If we increase the A, goes right, yes, which means we need to pick the place between 2 points. P0 is equal to 3. Minus. Seeing blackness was weird. Yeah, it's my add-on. I want it to be a bit nicer for your eyes, you know. Then what we do is we minus this, I think. No, I'm an idiot. Damn it. Make it, will it be up to put some music right now? You know what, I get it. Yeah, I agree. I have just Botti humming in the background, which is a very therapeutic noise for me. I keep wanting Jesse Botti. I am losing it, clearly. I have Jesse humming in the background, which is a very therapeutic noise for me. But I understand it might not be the same for everyone. Jazz sounds nice, I believe.
I like Jesse noises too.
Let me know if it's too wild or too quiet. Listen to Miku breathing 10-hour loop. I would, but it's copyright. So, Flame, now that you're free, right? Now you finished like your thesis thing. I'm just saying that. Would you maybe, like, I don't know, something, some Timon's just been nagging me about some chemistry videos, you know, apparently isn't happy with my computer science videos or whatever, like hates them or something, and I was just thinking that I am not free, so I have 3 exams. It's fine, I get it, I understand, you're busy. I'll just go back to doing math. It's fine, I'll just go back to doing mathematics, okay?
Good luck, Flame. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I don't think Flame needs luck.
True, but
I am happy
it's
that you're...
better to have it than not have it.
But I am happy that you're finished your dissertation. Finger punch I can do in a couple of weeks. Oh no. In Poland, there's some chance, which is non-zero, that you could accidentally run into me, and I don't want anyone to run accidentally into me because I am way shorter in person, and I don't want to demolish the illusion, you know. Doesn't Timon also know a thing or two about chemistry? Why can't you use him as Per Flame? Per Flame.
I mean, I already offered that and make it said that I should finish this thing I'm doing right now, and I can't say anything about it right now, and then
we have a lot of secrets in this community. Yeah. Timon is... For Timon, I would need to pick something really niche. Material science is the only one I can think of because that's like the whole of the gaps of the knowledge of experts on the server. I might just show up at yours after the event to help with experiments. That sounds like a threat. I told you I'm way shorter in real life than it seems. I don't want my godlike persona to just be demolished.
That is so painfully relatable.
Material science is the governor is doing material chemistry PhD. Material science is the gap in knowledge because you're missing Flame, okay? I still remember Flame. I remember him as if he was here yesterday, you know. He used to join in on these streams, chat, that just sometimes the voice channel as well. Oh, I miss him. I miss him.
Make it. I would like to again inform you that I want to specialize in material science, but I have not done it yet, so I don't know more about it than average.
The question was if I can use you as a spare flame, and I answered that the only way I could use you as a spare flame would be in material science, because that's the only gap in knowledge which I myself have that you would be able to fill as a spare flame. Do you have any other topic that you could work in to be a spare flame for me?
A lot, like like in high school I won national contests or something. Like I could.
Got a dip for a group study having a stream. Alright, bye Flame. Good luck on the exams.
Bye.
And
Good luck.
I'm happy that you finished the thesis. A dissertation. Damn it, I did the same thing. Why do we still not have a bioligarch make it? It's because no one appeared yet. Oh, I need to make Timon louder. Normally I make him quieter because he flashbangs me. There we go.
Like,
you won high school championships or whatever, but in what?
In like chemistry in general.
General chemistry.
Yeah.
General chemistry is something that I exclusively don't want to do because I find it awful. High school general chemistry. That's because almost every single That's because every single thing I explain in my videos, chemistry-wise, the first step is like removing the general high school chemistry knowledge from everyone watching.
Also, I went to a like specialized, like not like high school that was also preparing me for like that could have given me a job in a laboratory. Like that kind of very specialized high school in chemistry. So I had for 4 years I had 8 hours in chemistry. So I can help you with stuff regarding chemistry.
But what kind of chemistry?
Inorganic chemistry, for example, that's my favorite. I have a 130 pages book on inorganic chemistry.
I have 150.
No,
I have
no,
1,500
no.
pages. I've get outmatched.
No, I don't know numbers in English. I meant 1,300.
Yeah, and I meant 1,500. Get outmatched. What's more, I'm pretty certain my book is exclusively on batteries. Or just the cells in general. I'd have to check my sources for the battery video.
Also, I showed you the thing that then you said that the thing you remember that, and you said that after I finish this thing. So yeah, but I like that's already like fully researched topic that would be a video material. Like I can help you with chemistry. I'm pretty certain I could help you with chemistry more than I could with physics.
Okay, you want alright, you want a chemistry question that you could help me with? And ironically, and to just as a quick test to see. Alright, let me think. What video about chemistry?
It may need some refresher, might add, but I might not know everything by heart, but I can that I used to know like a few years ago, but I have the like general knowledge and general understanding.
One thing I want to make a video on is fire, lightning, and phosphorescence, tying all of them together. So, what is the mechanism that produces a photon when electrons get excited? How can you determine what kind of photon you're gonna get based on the molecule that is emitting that photon and the underlying conditions? That's basically the question I need answered in as much depth as possible for that video.
That's mostly quantum mechanics. That's just the difference between the energy levels of the two orbitals that the electron is jumping between.
That much I know, but as I mentioned, extremely depth. Okay, so another question then. How
like
about...
extremely in-depth would be like quantum mechanics.
Alright then, another question. Ah, shit. What other... The two main chemistry videos I want to work on is this one and the phosphorescence one, and I feel like giving you the phosphorescent question would be just outright cruel. So how about... I don't have any other chemistry videos to work on. No, that's it. I don't have any other chemistry videos. That's it. Fuck. How does doping silicon... Silicon is a crystal, correct? No,
Yes.
Is it? I'd spit it out that. Isn't not really silicon crystal. Yeah, so silicon is a crystal. How does doping it allow electrons to pass through it?
It creates either gaps or extra electrons, and those make the electron band. Electron bands.
Yeah, but electron bands are a property of metallic bonds.
Yes.
So can you have? So how can you have metallic bonds in a crystal? Aren't bonds in a crystal ionic?
No, every metallic bond is a crystal. Like metallic bonds make up a crystal. Like iron is a crystal. It's a cubic crystal, for example, iron.
So crystal is a structure. It's not a bond.
Yeah, crystal is any kind of repetitive structure in solid materials.
Okay, so silicon is bound by a metallic bond then.
Yes.
That makes sense.
No, and like it's right in between metallic and covalent.
Okay, what does that mean?
Like it's like there are like it has discrete energy levels, but those are so close together that it's very easy to get the electrons jump between energy levels and get the energy levels act as bands.
No, but undoped silicon. Is it bonded metallically or covalently? Why can't make it use Theo as spur flame? I already used Theo as spur flame, and honestly, it worked out really well.
Then use Theo as a spur flame.
Go, you tapping out?
And now you lagged out.
Yeah, I asked if you're tapping out.
You lagged out.
I think I am not the one who lagged out. I don't think I'm the one who lagged out. You put phosphor in, right? You don't have no chance to boron, right? Yeah, my internet crashed. Yeah, I just said that I don't think I'm the one who lagged out.
Alright, I'm back.
The problem is that you know a lot about high school kind of chemistry, which is exclusively the kind of chemistry I don't want to do.
No, you're just asking me like more like material science, which I said before. I
know, because what kind of question am I supposed to ask you about? I don't know what kind of question am I supposed to ask you about general high school chemistry.
You can just like university level inorganic chemistry. You can
okay, but what kind of questions? I don't have much of a concept of what. So inorganic, as much as I understand it, inorganic chemistry is just any chemistry that doesn't have carbon chains.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot. Okay, so because alright, so is material science a part of inorganic chemistry?
Material science is between physics and chemistry, and the issue is that
like, it's hard for me to ask you a question from inorganic chemistry if I don't know what the boundaries of inorganic chemistry are. So if you want me to ask you a spot-on question, I need to know where I'm supposed to ask first. Alright, let's do something simple. This is a very simple question, but very simple question that I'm like pretty certain I already know the answer to, but that's the only inorganic chemistry question I can think of. How do electrolytes move ions through them?
It's a liquid. What do you mean? How they move ions? Like it's a liquid. It's stuff flow freely.
But then wouldn't they be also able to move atoms?
Like everything is moving because it's a liquid. Like everything is moving around. It's just charged particles can be controlled where they go by electricity. But
so okay, then a bit more difficult. When you have what was that membrane called? What's that membrane called? Shit, I forgot the name of the membrane in electrolysis of hydrogen of water with a membrane. Because that's a mechanism that's a tad more interesting, which is the membrane, the one that like is highly toxic, and you can use asbestos as asbestos. There we go. Asbestos. There's only one asbestos there. Okay, that's not a good sign. When you electrolyze something, okay, really often you use a membrane in between the anode and the cathode in order to permit the flow of the thing that you're electrolyzing, but not permit the flow of the products. And in electrolysis of water, you can use asbestos, for example, as that kind of membrane. Now, how do these kinds of membranes allow passage for the product, but not for the thing you're electrolyzing? Asbestos.
That always depends on the kind of stuff for.
Yeah, so
in
asbestos
this case,
in water, for example.
I don't know. I never used asbestos.
Coward. It's cheap, you know. I've looked into it. The only other alternative is like a highly specific thing that some laboratories out there made that costs like a couple $100 per bottle. Asbestos cheap at least.
Like, I'm not as good as Flame and Theo. I just like the
I'm
reason you
joshing
can.
with you. I just said that I just mentioned asbestos. I'm joshing with you.
But still, I'm not good as those two. But like you can ask me the like kind of simpler questions. For example.
But the problem is that simpler questions are easy to research. You know. The thing is, when I bug people, for example, when I bug Flame, the reason why is because it's really nice. Here's the thing: if you have some kind of basic kind of understanding of something, right, then you have the knowledge that you can use in order to research this topic. However, if you go niche enough, if you go specific enough, you lack even that kind of knowledge. That's why it's really useful for me to ask Flame about phosphorescence, for example, something specific. That's because when I ask Flame specifics about phosphorescence, then there will be questions I wouldn't even think of asking that Flame will answer for me. That's really convenient. So Flame can, for example, tie in quantum mechanics phosphorescence really easily, which is something that I would first need a firm foot in phosphorescence and quantum mechanics to even ask. Now, you say that your specialty would be inorganic chemistry. I don't have enough knowledge in inorganic chemistry to even ask the questions.
I see.
And that's the problem. Because then there is nothing I can ask you, because what am I supposed to ask? I cannot pass the...
And you lagged out again.
Are you certain I am the one lagging out? I will take that as a no. But I assume electrolysis of water don't even need the membranes of both product gases. However, Theo, if you chuck in enough salt in there, then on one half you will get hydrogen, on the other half you will get... Well, okay, you will get sodium hydroxide, you will get chlorine, you will get hydrogen, you will get oxygen. Those are the things you'll get. And you need to... No, wait, not oxygen. I'm an idiot. Am I? Yeah, not oxygen, sorry. Hydrogen, chlorine, and sodium hydroxide. And the thing is, you need to do it with a membrane, because if you do it with a membrane, that's a really simple way to turn salty water into sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, which, in my opinion, both of these are more fun than salty water. I'm not electrolyzing the water anymore. I know, I just... did I not say salty? I might have not. Sorry about that then. That's on me. It's something I wanted to do in the past. The only problem is that the only 2 membranes I found, one of them was expensive as hell, the other one was asbestos. Which is not a great pick. Behold my genius. Behold my genius.
Make it, alright, you can, like, yeah, I will never be as good as those 2, but like, I've already showed you that thing that I can't mention here, and that, for example, is like a fully researched topic that I have fully researched and stuff like it. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I will get to that, don't worry. I just have a couple of the things I need to finish first. I am incredible. My goodness, I am so fucking good at making things, and I would just like to have it pointed out there that I'm not only good at making things with electricity, electronics, computer science, or chemistry, I am even good at making it with fucking mathematics, because the art I've just done in Desmos should be put in the Louvre, honestly. That's because right here, instead of using the less than greater than, like some kind of peasant, instead what we will do is we will take this and we will math x, which is our coordinate, so there we go, x minus these 2 added together divided by 2, like so, then that into an absolute value like this, then subtract from it both of these added together divided by 2, is that it? And then add the 0th point, which is the smaller one, like this. There we go. That's our function. And then what we want to do is we want to plug in the output, for goodness sake. Then we want to take that function and then math add it to sine. Where is the sine? There it is. You make himself Susan surprised. You want to make it because you are good at making things. Spot on, exactly. Function plus function multiplied by... Hold on, this is gonna get quite a bit large. Sine of the function minus 1 there we go. Sine minus 1, then divided by 2, and this into the multiply, and then we add them both together. We then take them, we pop them into a hyperbolic tangent, and then, ladies and gentledems, we make a group, we plug it as the output, and lo and behold, a man. Like... Wait, no, then we need to multiply them both together, right? Yeah, because it's 0. Multiply them both together, and then add 1. Shit. Shit. Not shit? See, there needs to be a bit more aggressive. Easy fix. Oops, I got it backwards. Maybe a bit more aggressive, 0.1 even. Okay, that might be too much, 0.3. I don't like how it's jumping in, but I don't know if there's a... Maggie, what's your favorite tank? Panzer? I don't have a favorite tank. The function multiplied by a function -1, more of later magic. I mean, this works, it's just, I think I could make this nicer looking. The hyperbolic tangent's a bit of a... Honestly, I could just let it go spiral off to infinity now I think about it. But that would make it linear, and... Which means that instead, I think instead of hyperbolic tangent, we'd like to square it. To make it a bit more, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So which means instead of this, we do a square. There we go. And now it's gonna be smooth. The problem is that this is too smooth again, so 0.1. Okay, 0.3. Alright, maybe 0.2. There has to be a happy medium in between them. Why are you so sharp? It's because we're not doing it right, are we? Hyperbolic tangent sounds like a spell for the stream. Fuck, I forgot that color ramps exist in Blender. I forgot that I don't live in the 19th century anymore. There we go. I genuinely forgot they exist. And now we can from the top, like so, which will go right in there. Perfect. And then we can do the same thing for the horizontal or vertical, depending on your perspective, I suppose. And then what we do is we multiply both of them together. Plug it in. No, we don't multiply them together. We need the opposite of multiplication in this case. That's because we want... Right, which means what we actually want is we want to subtract it from 1. And then we want to multiply them together. Exactly, spot on. And then we want to subtract from 1 again. I am incredible. Haha! This took way too long! But now we can control it at least. Good, good. And actually mix will be a much easier way to do it. This took way too long, like way too long. You all better appreciate the effort I've put into it, because...
I do.
Yeah, you all better. My goodness, this is so unnecessary. It will make the video ever so slightly nicer to watch. That's it. No, okay. Oh, this is so exhausting. Body is like halfway done. Shit.
You mean Jesse?
Yeah, I mean Jesse. I'm just misgender people. And yes, by the way, in case you didn't know, you humanoid fucks, names for robots are equivalent to genders. Not people names. Those are the index numbers, actually. Honestly. The amount of times that humans have been just... No, you Panzer get the past. Long number sounds really funny for some reason. I mean, because that is... You know what's even funnier? You know what's even funnier? It is exactly what it sounds like. A long number is a long number. It is longer than the long number. You can have a short number, integer number, long number, and long number. It is exactly what it sounds like. Have you ever considered using Adobe instead? I use Adobe. I use Adobe to edit my videos. This is just for animations. Alright, so right here then what we do is we jump to the second label. The more I think about it, the more the name Jesse I think was wrong, by the way. This is random. I like the Y at the end, but it doesn't have... Perry would be good. Perry the printer. Maybe... Patty. No, that's gross. Who is Jesse? My 3D printer. $1,737 baby names. That's a 4-digit number. Perry the platypus. Perry the printer. A printer? Perry the printer? Perry? Platypus? Perry the platypus? Where's the P? Wait, am I not understanding how to use this? P. Oh, that's where the names are. Okay, let's see. It has to end with a Y, by the way. That's I don't make the rules. Those are just the rules. Phoebe. Oh, Phoebe is good, actually. But no. Poppy. I like Poppy. Meaning red flower. Yeah, no shit. Poppy. Percy. Percy is also good. But if I name my 3D printer Percy, I will never get over the gay allegations. Reference to Percy Jackson. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I've read Percy Jackson, but what? I don't get it. I still don't get it.
Yeah, I told you you wouldn't get it. Perry is there. Damn it, I like Percy. I like Percy a lot. Penny. Penny is good as well. I imagine because you a lot to adore it so much. Not bad. It wasn't. I do have to say, the Bumble Up A1 is not too bad of a price. Philomena. Percy.
Philomena because filament.
No, it has to end with a Y. I don't make the rules. Those are just the rules.
Yeah, nah.
Hi there, QWERTY. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Posy. Gross. Why can't you just... Oh, there we go. So, we have Percy Poppy. Those are two candidates so far. Platypus plumber? Perry the platypus plumber? Perry the platypus? I fucking love that. I honestly, you know what's... Recently I have, I mentioned it when Remco joined in, on stream. And I don't think you were there, but because you would appreciate it. It's my opinion that physicists should stop hiring Dr. Doofenshmirtz to name all of their particles. That's genuinely my take. For example, we have inflaton. Like, what the fuck? It's a genuine particle.
Make it, you don't get it. Physicists are Dr. Doofenshmirtz. At least that's who I strive to be. I have an inspirational Dr. Doofenshmirtz paper thingy on my wall.
Have you ever tried monetizing your voice altercation capabilities before becoming a YouTuber? No, because me streaming every single day is what gave me those capabilities. I actually sucked when it comes to anything voice related before I started streaming. But public speaking every single day for the past 800 days kind of helped with that. So it's, you know, opposite causality. It's not that I started streaming because my voice was so good, it's that my voice got better because I started streaming. My voice was actually pretty terrible. That's the thing I mentioned before about, you know, you need to work on the things that you suck the most at, not the things that you are the best at. He's a voice actor, yet I am obsessed with voice actors. I find the concept of them being able to change their voice just captivating. Now, what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a Perry, we're gonna have a Percy, we're gonna have a Poppy. I need to pick them. I'm trying to be a voice actor. I find that impressive. Why Perry with a P? It's a name. Lowercase. Because I didn't think. There we go, that's uppercase. Peony. Ugh. But, ugh. Scottish, well, you don't say. Posey, no. Penny. I'll check it under maybe. Poseidon. So far, my two favorite ones are Percy and Perry. And I am torn.
Those are really good ones.
Puck, that's gross. That's a crime. Prior. No, it's my current printer. I'm hilarious, I know. Patsy? I don't know if you can hear Jesse in the background right now, just fuming as I pick a new name. Alright, Jesse, don't worry, I'll pick a good one, don't worry. It's funny you are spending so much time deciding what to name your 3D printer. It's important, okay? Pinky, no. I'm committed. Percy the 3D printer is good, but Perry... the repeated letters. I think it's gonna be Perry. Yeah. I have an NPC in my D&D world that is named Paco. He is just a little boy with curse that half transforms into a swan. Wait, which half? Lower, upper, or side? Or maybe back or front. Which half? It's crucial to me that you answer this question. Who named their child Pixel? I don't know, Pixel is kind of a fire name.
Pixie.
Pixel.
Yeah, but as a nickname for Pixie.
Paddy, gross. Potter? Potter? I fucking love like how Malfoy put like just all of his upper body strength into just saying Potter. Oh, so good. Pry has nothing. Poor Pry. No origin, no nothing. It's just Pry. Pleasant? Can you imagine being named Pleasant? That doesn't seem pleasant. Oh my goodness, Pleasant. Oh, that's a crime. This one is the crime. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be Painter. Phineas, speaking of. Phineas and Peb. Yeah, I think Perry. Well, I think that's the one. I feel it in my bone marrow. It's gonna be Perry. Well, Perry, thank you for your service. How do you like it? How do you like Perry? I can see that Perry started like happily printing in circles, and I like that a lot. Is the left side, left arm's a wing and feathers down the side and back over the leg a bit. I knew you wouldn't have done top bottom. I knew it. I knew you're better than this. I was confident. I was certain. Pray to Perry the 3D printer. Paco the Swan Boy, I need in my notes. That just sounds like something. That just sounds like what you would call a swan, just a normal one. Half beak, half mouth. That sounds violent, honestly. Quite painful as well. Hi there, Mahmoud, welcome. You can see the line, but I don't care. I think it's gonna be fun later on when we zoom out and there's gonna be like a rectangle that actually blurs everything. That'll be a funny bit. Yeah, but it's a specific scene of a Grimm story. I'm assuming that Grimm with 2 M's is different from Grimm with 1 M, and so I don't know what Grimm with 2 M's is. So, Perry. I like it. I like the sound of it. Perry. But Percy would be a bit more badass. What are you making? Videos, machines, a lot of things. Percy the 3D printer. You know what? There's only one way to solve it. We need a vote. Hold on. Let me just give me a sec. I'll be back with you short. Well, I am still here. I'm just not gonna be able to hear anything. So it's gonna be a bit of a spoiler. However, I like it because it's more of a teaser. Actually, if I do it this way. I'm back, by the way. Okay, hold on. Time to do a vote. Hold on, give me a second. I need to set it all up. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. What's on the screen? You're gonna make a video on coding soon. I have made videos about coding, and I will continue making videos about coding, and yes, the video I'm working on right now is about coding, in fact. PSW Igor Stanislav Stoneford. PISS for short. Hold on, I'm still cooking. All right. The poll stands, everyone. The poll is there. What should be the name of my 3D printer? Percy or Perry? Pick your fighter now. It has to start with P. It has to start with P and end on a Y. Those are the rules. And ideally, 5 letters and repeated letters. Those are the 2 bonuses. If it has... It needs to start with P, it needs to end in Y, and it would be nice for it to have 5 letters, it would be nice for it to have repeated letters as well. That's why Perry is a strong candidate. Percy sounds just rad as fuck. Greetings, Percy White. Ah, you must be Lady Piss! Why is the slice of pie? Why not a piece of cake? Society! Alright, let's see so far. Perry is winning! I'm surprised, I thought Percy was the one. Best video ever made in this production. Yeah, but that's not this one. That is not this one. No, that's the other one. That's the one that Perry is printing right now.
I will be back in just a minute.
Alright. Deafening silence. I'm thinking, okay? I get to think sometimes. It would be funny if I ended the stream with time when Timon left, you know? That would be kind of funny. Right as time goes away for a sec, I'm just ending a stream. That would be kind of funny. I thought you always think out loud. Usually, yeah. Should make a top hat for it, like Perry from Phineas and Ferb. I have a top hat. It's just the problem is it's black, not brown. That's the only problem. I can get it right now in fact. Give me a second. I know where it is. A 3D printer? Perry the 3D printer? Oh no, my voice is cracking too much, it's not working. If it lands on Perry, then I'm gonna make like a series of photos, you know, printer, Perry the 3D printer, and there's going to be wearing a top hat. If it wins on Percy, then I'll make some kind of Percy Jackson reference. We'll see. Black doesn't have the same vibes, I know, but it's the only one I got. And yes, I have a black fedora, because I am, in fact, that guy. Printed Perry? If Perry wins, cosplay as Doofenshmirtz. Have you seen me? I already do. It's my lifestyle choice. Oh, this progress on this is glacial. It really is. Yen is fire, not gonna lie. Ready to be Prince. Piss off. Alright, you know what? No, that's it. I'm ending the stream. I am hungry. I'm hungry and I need to make a phone call. I'm going. We'll see how the poll shakes out and then we'll see what happens. And for now, I suppose that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.